I'm going to be breaking down the 5-stage customer buying journey for you today that transformed my business. It changed the way that I create content, I sell my offer, and I nurture my clients. And it didn't change until I realized that it wasn't necessarily about the content that I was posting, it was where my customers were, or my followers were, within their buying journey. And I just want to demystify this straight away, because I do not think you'll hear a lot of other content creation agencies, content creation freelancers saying this, because a lot of the products they sell, they say will get you more views, will get you more followers, but more followers doesn't equal more clients. More followers doesn't equal more conversions. You can have 50,000 followers, not earn a single penny from your account. You can have 500 followers and be earning a fucking buck. Let me just explain where I'm coming from. So this on the screen right now is a super simple visualization as to what that customer buying journey looks like. And this journey is pretty consistent for every single industry, every product that you might sell. Every customer pretty much enters in one end and comes out the other. Unless they're a referral, in which case they might sort of come straight into that consideration phase. No matter what stage you come in at, you will then flow through the subsequent stages chronologically. Let me take you through each one of these one by one. Right, we're going to cut to a Loom video so that I can show you the detail. Welcome to the Loom. This is the 5-stage customer buyer journey that we're talking about. And I'm going to be talking you through in detail about what each one of these stages means for your customer. And by the way, if you don't know who we are Silverback Social Media. We're an online content creation agency that specializes in creating and delivering waterfall content strategies for online service providers, online coaches, course creators, consultants, all of the above. So the first stage of your customer's buying journey is awareness. And at this stage, your customer doesn't know who the hell you are. They don't even know that you exist, but they're just starting to realize that they themselves have a problem. Just like this man here. Depending on what your business is, that customer is going to have different pain points. If you're an online fitness coach, then that potential customer is probably going to want to learn how to put on some muscle or lose some weight. If you run an online mentorship or an online course product and you work with other coaches, then your customer's pain point is probably going to be, how do I start making more money? Other people are saying, okay, why is my revenue not growing equally? What am I doing differently? What am I doing wrong? And you want your customers to have a problem because you've got a solution. And a lot of companies that we speak to trying to create content within this awareness stage, they want to go viral. They want to try and push their content out to as many people as possible. They want to increase their follower base. But we just don't recommend that. And the reason we don't recommend that is because pushing your content out to 1 million people who are never going to buy from you, who aren't your target audience, is a complete wasted effort on your behalf. Instead, focusing targeted content on 2 or 3 or 400 views from people that are bang on within your target audience and you're never going to want to purchase is going to lead to way higher conversion rates and more revenue for your business. And don't forget to mention more trusting customers, because your content is speaking directly to their pain point and answering their question exactly. And whatever the hell you do here, do not sales pitch. You will scare them off. They're not ready to purchase. They're still figuring out exactly what their own problem is. So they don't even know what solution they need yet. Instead, it's time to get them thinking, damn, this person really understands me and really knows what I'm going through. That's why we recommend that you completely put yourself within your customer's shoes, understand what their pain points are, understand what their interests are, their motivations for purchase, and that will help you to create relatable content that really resonates with your audience and builds trust. And it's that trust, you'll soon see, that will allow you to flow on to the next stage of the buying journey, which is consideration. But if you flow up here to consideration, you will see that you are in your customer's heads and they're thinking about you, but it's a little bit spaghetti junction, right? They're considering their options. And if you've done your awareness stage right, you're one of them, but there are definitely 1, 2, probably a few more competitors in the mix as well. And your customer is actively trying to solve their own problem and find the best solution for them. And they're probably making pros and cons lists a little bit like this. So how can you make sure that within the consideration phase, you stand out from your competition, right? And the key way that you can do this, and essentially the way that you're going to come out on top within this consideration phase, is through building trust over a long period of time with your customers. Your customer wants to know that you care, that you understand their problems, that you know where they're coming from. And the way to do this is through building trust with your customer base. And here at Silverback Social Media, we use waterfall content creation as a way to build that trust. We genuinely use platforms like Instagram and short form video to capture your customer's attention initially. And that sort of feeds you through into this consideration phase. We then try and move those customers from Instagram to platforms like YouTube that are more focused on long form video, where you can give away all of your value. We're not trying to gatekeep anything here. And you can give away all of your value, deep dive and very niche into specific topics to show that you really know what you're talking about. That's the thing that's really going to build trust. Your customers then come back to Instagram to make that purchase, which we'll get onto in a second. It's usually very personal things on Instagram, like the stories, that really help push them over the line from the consideration phase into the purchase phase. And as you can see, this con here, it doesn't really matter if you're more expensive than your competitors, because if your customers trust you and trust that you're going to deliver better results than your competitors, they're going to be willing to pay more. It's really as simple as that. And in other words, you're giving them the clarity, the confidence, and the trust that you are who you say you are. You are going to be the guide that they're looking for to get them to wherever they want to be, to solve the problem that they have. All right, you've built the trust, your customer knows that you're capable of solving their problem, and there's a little bit of money on the line, all right? Because that's why we're in the purchase phase. And this is when it gets a little bit serious. And it's also where we find so many of our clients mess up, because suddenly there's money on the line. All right, your dream client is ready. They're standing right in front of you. You just need to stay consistent and present them with a clear and compelling path to purchase, okay? And all right, I know you're eager to close that client, to grow your business. We all want more revenue, but whatever you do, try and refrain from hard selling. No one likes a hard seller, right? Because if you've done it right in the awareness and the consideration phase, your content there should have done most of the legwork for you already. Instead, I want you to think a little bit more subtly. Don't just say, here's my product, buy it. I want you to start thinking about things like CTAs and how we might best start subtly convincing a customer to purchase. Things like streamlining your sales funnel. Talk about urgency within your social posts so that your customer wants to act and they want to act now. And also things like social proof. Us humans love a herd mentality and we love safety in numbers. If you know that other people are happy and satisfied and have had their problems solved by you, then you're probably going to be more likely to purchase. And I think I'm going to do a whole video on a lot of this stuff another time. We'll go into more detail about exactly what CTAs work, how you can start to craft a social media post that has urgency without being pushy, what a streamlined funnel looks like, and what best way to utilize your customers' testimonials to try and convince other customers to purchase. If that would be of interest, then drop that in the comments below and I can make that video for you and share it. And the last thing I want to say in this purchase stage is don't rush. That's going to be a stop sign. I'm not sure you could tell, because you want your checkout to be as frictionless as possible for that customer. And whatever other content you're producing, your webinars, your DM conversations, your sales calls, all of these need to feel aligned and feel like they're coming from the same company. And remember, you're not convincing them to purchase. You want them to feel like they've come to that conclusion on themselves. You are simply showing them how easy it is to start with you and how easy it is for you to help them solve their problem. Right, good job, coach. Customers on the books, money's in the bank, but I hate to say it, this is where the hard work really starts. We're in the retention phase. This is the second last phase of that customer buying funnel. And generally, this phase is pretty much 100% achieved through your service delivery. If a customer is happy with the results that they're getting, if they're dropping 10 pounds of body fat, if they're making more revenue in their coaching business, if you run a mentorship, then they're going to stay with you. If they're getting results, they will stay. But that being said, you've still got to keep your level of content high and consistent. People love consistency. Us humans are creatures of habit and we love consistency, and people still need to see that you know what you're talking about. It's always going to be the case. And all right, your content strategy may not really change here, but I want you to focus on these things instead. I want you to try and build a community with your customers. I mentioned earlier that we love herd mentality. Humans love to feel affiliated with something. And if there's a community around the product that you're selling that people can buy into, that will get them to stay. And show them behind the scenes content, and don't just show them the content, make them feel involved in it. Ask them about future product launches. Tell them about what you're going to do and get their opinion on it. If people can buy into your business and feel like they're actually changing the product that they're then going to be using themselves, it's going to create super good longevity within your customer base. And lastly, just making sure you're still showing up on key touch points for your customer, like email marketing, newsletters, other ways of sharing information with the customer that gives them another way to digest your value. And I personally think this one's super important because everyone digests value in different ways. Some people like audio, some people like reading, some people like me are particularly visual. And so showing up on different touch points like this is really going to give them that all-inclusive package and wrap them in your little ecosystem, whatever that might look like. But basically, retention, give them results that they are going to rave about. It's as simple as that they're going to rave about and shout about. And if they shout about it, guys, then they're going to feed through into this advocacy stage, which is the final stage and the golden stage of our customer buying journey. If you've done the subsequent 4 stages right, if you've done your awareness right, your consideration, your purchase, and your retention, that will flow through into advocacy. And now each stage is important on its own, But advocacy, I would argue, is maybe one of the most important stages once you've got those customers in. And really, if you've done those stages correctly, then this stage should happen naturally. And this wheel here should flow and spin around on its own. And this isn't just your customers telling you how happy they are. This is your customers telling their friends, telling their family how happy they are. It's your customers posting about you on social media, posting about their results and tagging you on social media so that other people are aware of the awesome solution that you've provided for them. And the best part is that this then loops back around straight into the awareness phase, because you can reuse that content that they've created for you, that user-generated content, that UGC, back into your awareness stage. You can use that social proof to recapture people's attention and show that you can provide a solution for them and give them that trust and give them that security. It's a golden wheel that keeps spinning once you've got it flowing. And it's, I think, sometimes very easy for business owners and online service providers to get caught up in the delivery, but make sure you are making it easy for your customers to shout about you, celebrate it, and encourage this behavior within your existing customer base. Encourage this behavior in your communities, through your email marketing, whatever it might be. Make sure that you are making it easy for customers to talk about you to whoever they might want to. And that is really the 5 stages of the customer buying journey. And there you have it, the 5-stage customer buying journey that really genuinely changed my business, transformed my business, and changed the way how I market my products, how I sell my products, and most importantly, how I serve my customers, and making sure that they are feeling comfortable flowing through each one of those stages, and how I create content that I hope builds trust with my potential customers so that they come to the conclusion that they have purchased my product on their own. And that is key. And hey, look, relatively high level run through. I know I'm going to do another video. I've spoken about another video I'm going to do. Another video I'm going to do is breaking down the exact types of content that you should be posting within each one of those categories to help you convert your views into paying clients. But look, take away any value that you want from that video that's relevant for you and your business. Give it a go. Throw some shit against the wall, see what sticks, try it out in real life, and let us know once you've tried it out in real life. We'd love to know how you found it. Anyway, see you soon, guys. Silver back out.